have this active energy, this doing energy, and we have this softer, intuitive energy. And if you look at anything in nature, like a tree, it has structure, it has bark, and it also has leaves, right? And so the structure holds it together and it grows up, but it can't do anything without the leaves, that receptive part. But then the leaves are useless if it doesn't have the structure. And we as human beings are the same. But we live in a society that's grounded on the wounded masculine, which is this drive forward at all costs, action, 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 linking into Annabelle's point, perfectionism, 100% tests, driven performance, all of that. But other than that, relational, nurturing, intuitive side, that's all lost in the mix. And people talk about like masculine, feminine energy. You may hear it like yin, yang, but we're talking about those two energies, that active, that passive. And what gets lost in the mix is that passive energy. And, not just for men, but also for women. And I think that's what needs to change. Early on at school, we need to be introducing this more relational, nurturing, intuitive energy connection to that energy rather than this just doing, achieving energy action, because it serves no one. And then we're all left in a space where we're all driving forwards at all costs until we can't anymore. And then when we can't anymore, we don't have the facilities and the tools to do anything about it because none of us are intuitive. None of us are that nurturing to ourselves. If you speak to most people, they have that inner critic voice. They're not very self-compassionate. So that softer side is often cast aside. It's degraded. And I think that's what needs to come and be brought back in to a large extent to address that balance. I'll be interested in hearing everyone else's thoughts.
I would say that I agree that recognition of that softer side rather than the doing performance needs to be brought back in. I personally experienced in the workforce, more focus being on the performance than the relationship part. And I would be in struggle because with that line of thinking, because I thought, well, if you can create the open, curious communication and relationships, well, then the performance is going to 10x anything that you do. Anything in absence of that, you're just going to be grinding until you get it. You aren't going to be reaching out a hand to help your colleague when they need you most. And so I'm always going to focus in on that. And I'd love to see a society actually recognize some of the soft skills and not just reward all of the technical hard skills.
I think all of that for me is true. So the first thing that came to my mind was relationships and communication and psychological safety. So it's providing those really safe environments for boys and men to feel that they can be vulnerable and not be judged for that. Because I think sometimes as women, we can do that because we don't always know any better because we're lacking the education around how to work with male emotion. But I think it's, for me, it's like a yes and. So it's not dismissing masculinity. It's embracing strength and vulnerability. It's having performance and humanity